Brazilians like to play this joke on new missionaries beware, where they will say they're pregnant. And so, I mean, elders will walk up into the lunch and their trainers will have told them, look, when you get to the end of the meal, when you're done, just say, estou grávido, and which means I'm pregnant. And you pat your stomach like you're full or something. And people would go up and just all the members will laugh because they know it's a trick, they know the joke, and they just die laughing as you say, yeah, I'm pregnant. No, it's okay, I don't need any more food, I'm pregnant. So that was always funny. Brazilians like to play other little jokes like that. Other language mistakes. Just getting used to it at the beginning is often very hard because often your vocabulary is very much more limited than what you're used to in your native language. So you get out there and you're trying to say all these things, and you're mixing up words. And one of the other popular mistakes in Portuguese is the difference between coconut and poop, which is very similar. They have the same letters, C-O-C-O. The only difference is coconut will have a special accent on it, a little hat. And so you can either say coco, which is coconut, or you can say coco, which is poop. And it's just the very minute difference in the way you accent the word, which part of it carries the inflection. So it's fun. Probably the rain. Brazil will get periods of rain for a couple weeks where it'll just pour nonstop. And I mean, you step off the street, your feet are wet, you know you're going to be soaked the entire day. And sometimes it can be very unexpected. There was one day we had gone off, we were working about half an hour away from home on our last appointment with a couple that got baptized and is actually getting sealed in a week. And we were leaving their house. It was pretty close to being time to where we had to be home. So we headed out and we contemplated taking the bus, but we knew that it was going to take a little while for the bus to get to us, to stop at there before getting home. And we decided, you know what, it's not raining a ton, we'll be fine, it'll probably let up, so we're just going to walk home. And it was a good 30-minute walk. And as we started heading down, it started to pour. And we just started running home. And for the next 20 minutes, we're just running in this torrential downpour until we finally got home and we could dry off our clothes and put on some dry ones. It's crazy. One of the greatest life lessons I learned was just being persistent. Brazilians a lot of the time aren't very punctual. So you would say, okay, we'll meet you at 4 o'clock then, it's all set in stone, we're good to go. And they wouldn't show up for an hour or something. And just not a very punctual people, naturally, by culture, they're not. And it was something that I learned out of love to just keep going back. And we would drop people, obviously, because they're just people who stop progressing. We'd say, look, we need to go help other people. They need this opportunity if you're not going to take it right now. And we had to be very persistent in keeping our area book up to date so that new missionaries could see everyone we've taught and eventually return back to those people and help them accept the gospel. We had to be persistent about getting lessons, about marking baptism dates, because people were often unsure about it. They wanted to follow, but they'd be very hesitant. And with persistence and love, we could help them a ton as they came to realize the importance of it and often came to baptism and to be confirmed a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and to receive the Holy Ghost. And it was a very special moment to see that all that hard work and persistence you put into something finally paid off, as all these people just had so much happiness. There were still so many challenges ahead of them, and people had to go through a lot. There was one lady in Perus, and she smoked and we didn't know it. And she was going to be baptized a few days later. She was going to be baptized that Sunday, and I think it was Friday. and we wanted so bad for her to be baptized, and she wanted to finally. After this long time, she was finally like, you know what, this is what I need in my life. And we interviewed her, found out she was smoking. And she was just, we were persistent with her. We sat down and said, look, you can do it. We're not canceling your baptism Sunday. You won't be baptized until you quit smoking, but we still have that day ready for you. And she said, I'm going to do it. And from that moment, she didn't put another cigarette in her mouth, and she was baptized. And it was a very special experience just to see how hard work, persistence, and love can really lead someone to make a decision that will affect the rest of their lives and even their eternities. For missionary going to Sao Paulo, it's pretty minimalistic. I mean, have maybe 7 short sleeve white shirts that you're going to use your entire mission. Have the same number of pants. Well, you can do different colors or whatever. I honestly just did black pants, 7 pairs of black pants, 7 white short sleeve shirts, and bunches of different ties. Keep it simple. Don't do anything crazy, because you will be hauling your bags around a ton during transfers, taking them in and off buses, sometimes in members' cars, and it just gets heavy a lot of the time. Follow your missionary guideline book and stuff, and only taking 1 suit and everything. One of the things I would suggest, though, is bring ties. Not only just like 1 tie per day for a week or something, but bring a large collection of ties, and bring some ties that you want to trade. One of my favorite memories with my companions was at the very end, I would often find some of my nicest ties, and we would sign our names on the back. We'd leave a little message for them. We'd write our names. Me being from Texas, I had to always either put a little flag in there, or I had to spell out Texas in a cool way and leave my little stamp of Texas on there. And then we always traded ties. So I have a tie from almost all of my companions, where at the end we would just sign our ties, trade them, and then we get to keep a little souvenir from them, which was something very special to me.